So, this is Touchstarved, and it's a visual novel. It's being kickstarted right now, actually, so this is just a demo, but I'm kinda super excited about it. This world began to unravel long before you were born. It began with fogfall. Spectral mist bled from the seams where reality wore so thin it split. And from the fog emerged monsters, inhuman beings with unnatural powers. Some possessed language and intellect, others were mindless beasts driven by little more than the desire to slaughter. As cities fell and unrest spread, humans united in their fear while monsters thrived in the chaos. And then there's you. Me! Oh my god, it's me! You're not even sure if you're human. You were born cursed, with hands that alter the mind of anyone you touch. So, I'm already gonna say this is one of my favorite things about this game so far, and I guess I haven't really played it, but from what I've seen and just even here, it seems kind of cool that, I've played a lot of like dating games, otami games, whatever, and I like them, but a lot of times you, as the main character, is like so generic and boring and like have no real agency and you're kind of like a dummy. This one, like, you get to choose a background, and I don't know, I like that. See, I feel like this one's really good because of the supernatural thing, identify that, but this is me. I love playing like thieves and like probably sneaking around and stuff, so this is very me. The wasteland stretches as far as the eye can see. There's nothing out here but death, the ever-present stench of decay, and countless sun-bleached bones cast like seeds across the barren land. As rations grew sparse and my canteen ran dry, I began to despair, but then I saw it. Ooh, the art's so pretty too. I really like the art. Iridia, the city of knowledge, one of the last bastions of humanity left in the world, and home to the famous academy called Cenobium. All the world's knowledge gathered in one place. If there's anywhere I'll find a cure for my curse, it's there. All that stands between me and a cure is a final stretch of salt-soaked waste. Or so I think, until I see the first tendrils of fog snaking behind the wagon. Is this fogfall? My stomach seeks at the very whisper of it, a silent storm more devastating than fire. Dangerous in cities, but a death sentence beyond them. A thick blanket of fog engulfs us, smothering out the lantern's light. The wagon lurches to a stop. An eerie silence, heavy as the mist falls over us. The only warning we get is a strangled scream. Stay back! No! The cry dissolves into wet gurgling. Oh shit, not the gurgling. Then the wagon violently pitches to the side. I hit the ground hard, the air punched from my lungs. A trader I once shared bread with lies face down in the mud, their back reduced to long strings of torn muscle, gleaming gristle, and exposed bone. Bodies litter the wasteland. I try to rise, but my ankle explodes with pain so blinding, white blooms across my vision. Only when my eyes adjust do I see the dark shape in front of me. A soulless stoops over the twisted form of a caravaner. I freeze, but it swivels its head. A dozen bulging eyes twitch in my direction, blink as one. Dude, that looks really cool. Like, let's just... Oh, look at it looks like little fingers. The soulless lets out an ear-splitting shriek and runs at me. Oh, shit. But right before it reaches me, the beast barrels past, vanishing into the mist. Distantly, a horse screams in the dark. I need to move now. I don't think we want to run to the wagon. I think we run to the city. The fog is so thick that I fear I'm headed in the wrong direction until I see a thin pinprick of light emanating from the shadows of a spire. It's faint, but it's enough. I came too far to die here. Rapid footsteps echo all around me. I turn in circles, frantically searching the opaque mist for the source. The fogfall twists and stretches sound. Suddenly, the caravan's driver bursts forth from the fog. Our eyes meet too late. He slams into me, knocking me to the ground, and slips in the patch of mud. The soulless falls on him as soon as he slows. Oh shit. It catches the driver by his throat and rakes his stomach with razor-sharp claws. He comes apart like wet paper, spilling intestines and viscera in a steaming tide. Damn, like paper? Shit. My hand catches on the jagged edge of a rib jutting up from the water. Bandages unfurl around the gorge, torn deep into my palm. Oh no. The pain quickly forgotten when a hand closes around my wrist. Uh-oh, that's probably not good. Can you stand? One of the travelers from the caravan leans over me. We need to run. They reach for my hand and I realize too late that my bandages have come undone. No, don't touch me. The sensation of their thumb brushing the back of my hand sends a shiver down my spine. All it takes is one touch, and in the space of a breath, my curse takes hold. Oh no. Their lips peel back into a deranged grin. I can't do it. No, I've seen this face countless times before. This is my curse, madness of my own making. The grip on my hand tightens until pain radiates from my knuckles. Let me go. Suddenly, a clammy hand crushes my throat. Spit bubbles at the corner of their mouths and flecks my face. The edge of my vision darkens as my lung screams for air. Well, we can't really scream, so we're gonna fight them off. My nails gouge deep into the traveler's wrist. No matter how much blood I draw, they don't flinch. The more I struggle, the tighter their grip grows. My pulse hammers in my ears, slowing with each thudding beat. This can't be happening. I'm going to die, and not because of the fog vault or the solace, but because of my own curse. Tears sting my eyes. No, not here, not like this. The hands drop from my neck, leaving me wheezing for air. My lungs burn with each ragged cough. My vision clears and the traveler's face takes shape, hovering inches from mine. Lips still split in that macabre smile, even as the blood seeps between their teeth. They give one last shuddering breath, then slump over the claws hook through their stomach. Oh shit. The soulless shoves the body aside, and the glowing eyes studying its leathery skin thin as though grinning. Dude, the soulless might be my boyfriend now. He saved me. There's a flash of claws. Red spills across my vision. I thought there'd be pain, but as I sink into the murky water, all I can feel is the grit of silt filling my mouth and the icy embrace of shallow water. Distantly, I noticed an arm resting among an outcrop of reeds, mine, neatly severed at the elbow. I didn't need that arm anyways. It should have taken both arms. Without them, maybe I could have survived. Maybe I could have had a home. Instead, I'll die cold and alone and face down in a desolate wasteland. A fitting end for a monstrosity like me. If this is death, it's not as bad as I feared. The coat is gone, as is the choking stench of bog water. I could drift forever, cocooned in oblivion, until all thought and sensation vanished. No curse, nobody howling at me in madness and terror, nothing at all. The thought had a terrible appeal to it, but the next moment I take a reflective breath. Air pours into my lung, then out again in a ragged gasp. Do not be afraid. Oh, hello. I twist my head towards the voice. Tears flood my blurry vision as the bright glow of lamplight. Try not to move. Anything you say, okay? The voice is calm, steady, and commanding, but more importantly, it's a stranger's voice. One thought cuts through my mental fog. I have no idea who this is, and I'm completely at their mercy. Stay away from me. My words come out in a little more than a creaky whisper. I clamp my mouth shut, hating how weak and helpless I sound. No. And I said no. No? Who the hell is this? We're gonna set up. I managed to push myself up on one elbow, but my head swims and my surroundings give an alarming lurch. Ah, stubborn patient. I don't have the strength to dignify that with a response. Instead, I pull the sheet up higher and wipe my eyes until my vision clears. The stranger towers over my prone form. Warm light reflects off his pristine medical coat. Damn, that's a fancy-ass medical coat, that's all I'm saying. I instinctively shrink back, and that's when I notice that I'm completely naked except for a thin linen sheet. Naked, lying on a low cot with a pair of sharp golden eyes watching my every move. The man's gaze flickered to my exposed, unbandaged hands. I plunge my hands under the sheet to hide them from sight, though it's too late. He must have noticed what they look like. Strange, cursed, inhuman. I brace myself for his inevitable suspicion and disgust, but his expression doesn't even flicker from that courteous smile. I mean, he had to have already seen them because you got me there in the covers and everything, but you know. Where am I? Who are you? Be calm, you are safe here. Okay, that clearly answered all my questions and I feel safe now. Where are my clothes? The man's golden eyes narrow slightly. A sharp sigh rustles the papers in his hands. I see you are not to be dissuaded. Your clothes were torn to shreds when I found you, but I procured some replacements. You better got me some nice-ass clothes, is all I'm saying. With a soft creak, he stands from his chair, giving me a better view of my surroundings. I like your bone muscle man picture, that's nice. The doctor produces a large, dense bundle of cloth, which he sets at the foot of my cot. He's easily a head taller than most, and I have to crane my neck to look at him. We love a talking, you know? We're kind of being like we're a mean girl, so I think we're gonna ask him to step up. I lift my head, looking defiantly into those golden eyes. Could you step out first? I'm not getting dressed with you standing here. To my surprise, the man's mouth quirks. I was not planning on watching. Yeah, don't protest too much, doctor. An itch on my elbow stops me short. I reach down absently to rub at it, then freeze when my fingers meet a neat line of stitches. Oh yeah, they cut my arm off, I forgot. I know what I saw. The beast took my arm clean off. And yet my arm shows no sign of injury apart from the black stitches poking through my skin. This is impossible. I should be dead, or at the very least, gasping out my last breaths. He's a doctor. He saved me. I slid off the bed and take a few unsteady steps towards one of the drawers. If this is indeed a doctor's clinic, there must be bandages somewhere. I think that's a pretty good guess. I would think there would be. I started opening drawers at random, and of course, when the door swings open once more. Are you looking for something? Yeah, bitch, I am. Your caution is understandable, though if I meant you any harm, you would know. Okay, bitch. Okay, I got it. That doesn't make me feel better in the slightest, but he makes no move towards me, so I quickly wind the bandages around my hands. The glowing scars and molted skin disappear under a layer of clean white cotton. May I ask why you need additional bandages? I clench my jaw. I knew it would only be a matter of time before he asked about my hands, though the way he does it is strangely roundabout. We're gonna glare. We're mean. We're boss bitch lady right now. I fix him with a dead-eyed glare, the one that used to send my fellow thieves into shuddering silence. He doesn't even blink, meeting my eyes serenely as I finish tying my bandages. I'm not easily intimidated. Who are you? You may call me Curus. And where exactly am I? Iridia, where I assume was your caravan's destination. I can think of nowhere else for a group of travelers to go. How did I end up here? I brought you to my clinic, of course. You were the only survivor from the caravan, barely clinging to life. You needed immediate treatment. You're saying that you stitched my arm back on. Pardon? A Solus attacked the caravan. It ripped everyone to shreds. It tore my arm clean off. But when I woke up here, I trailed off, bewildered. I've never heard of any magic that could heal a mortal wound like that. What kind of person could do such a thing? The doctor, Curus, pinched the bridge of his nose. He sits back down in his chair, quiet for a long time. I do not know where you come from, but Iridia is the city of knowledge and deadly secrets alike. Information is powerful and it is most unwise to give or receive it freely. Oh, since you have refused to divulge your secrets, I will not divulge mine. I do not even know your name. Damn. I want to know your secrets, though. You are new to Iridia, so I will overlook the specific breach of etiquette. However, you should not expect others to extend the same courtesy. Do you understand? He's saying I shouldn't be a bad bitch. Rayla. My name is Rayla. It is a pleasure to meet you, Rayla. There's a little more warmth in his smile, his polite demeanor back in an instant. You can flip a switch, though. I don't know if I like that. Well, you know what? We'll be a little nice. Thank you for saving my life. I chance a smile in return. Even if he won't explain how he did the impossible, there's no doubt in my mind that I'd be dead if not for Curus. But I have to ask, why did you save me? You don't know me. The question seems to startle Curus. I could hardly leave you to die in the waste. Assisting those in need is the very essence of a doctor's duty. It's true, he is a doctor. I've never met a doctor who also handed out free clothes. My fingers find the edge of the cloak. There's a subtle but delicately embroidered pattern around the hem. I try not to think about what kind of price Curus might ask for such well-made clothes. Maybe he made them himself. Like, maybe that's his side business. He makes cloaks. No, I suppose not. Forgive my presumption. I rarely come across so fascinating a patient. Yeah, he's definitely... Okay, so not to be, Dorihidoro mean, but he's like Kasekabe, who, like, doesn't really care about the person, but he cares about the science and learning the knowledge. Which is, he probably eventually will care about the person, but that's kind of the feel I'm getting. He just mainly wants to learn about me. I simply meant that few would cling to life so resolutely or brave such a perilous journey to Iridia. I could not help being curious about you, Rayla. His voice dips to a soft murmur, and he abruptly looks away from me. He's a little embarrassed. Yeah, you're pretty curious yourself. Am I? Well, I haven't forgotten about my arm, but you haven't asked me for any payment either. I require none from you. Travelers do not have abundance of coins, and it would be unethical to leave you destitute in a strange place. A loud knock at the front door stops our conversation cold and spares me from having to say anything else. Duty calls. Unfortunately, you are not my only patient today. Do you need anything before you leave, Rayla? Oh. Between the Sola's attack and my miraculous survivor, I'd almost forgotten why I came to Iridia in the first place. I need direction to Cenobium. The Cenobium? The look on his face is downright chilling. He pauses, choosing his words with cool deliberation while he speaks again. Whatever you seek, it is very unlikely you will find it there. The Cenobium's gates open for precious few visitors. Even if they did, you would not like what you found inside. My heart sinks. Is he saying that I came all the way for nothing? Risk life and limb for nothing? Then if not the Cenobium, where would you suggest? Do you know anyone else in Iridia? I shake my head. Then I suggest a local guide. Head to the Wet Wick and ask for Leander. Okay, listen, let me tell you, Leander is like my first pick. So absolutely, I will be heading to the Wet Wick and asking for Leander. Excuse me, the wet what? The Wet Wick. He sounds so deeply unamused. Follow the posting, advertising Leander's bloodhounds. They are difficult to miss. When you meet Leander, tell him I sent you. I find myself standing in a narrow and rather gloomy alley. I pull the new cloak up over my nose, stepping over the contents of chamber pots that have been emptied into the I glance back at the clinic's closed doors. Curus didn't take any payment. He didn't even ask for a future favor. But he also said that in Iridia, secrets are power. Does he expect me to give up mine at some point? What's the cheapest thing you got? The vendor points out a metal basket of what looks like long strips of savory fried dough. Fresh long lads, 3 copper apiece. Don't burn your mouth. Fresh long lads. You know what? I could take a fresh long lad. 2 streets later, I pass under a wrought iron archway adorned with dangling garlands of red and pink lilies. The building in this quarters are dizzying riots of color, painted walls, and tinted glass everywhere I look. Sheer red and pink curtains flutter in open doorways. Musical voices call out invitingly. Incense mingle with the pungent smells of flowers, barely covering the salt and musk of warm bodies. This must be Iridia's entertainment district. I'm polishing off my food and dusting the crumbs from my hands when I spot a poster. It features a silhouette of a smiling man wearing a silver dagger-like earring and the words Bloodhounds printed above his head. A motto, as above, so below, circles the artwork. I follow the line of identical posters around a corner and nearly hit my head on a precariously dangling wooden sign. Looking up, faded orange letters read the Wet Wick. The inside of the bar is a far cry from the abandoned exterior. It's not even midday, yet most of the tables and booths are occupied by a loose assembly of people in matching green clothes. A cursory glance doesn't turn up anyone with a dagger-shaped earring. I'm about to head towards the counter when a chant rises from the center of the room. Show, show, show! The remaining green cloaks abandon the bar and their booths to rush towards the center of the room in a sudden torrent. There's no time to move out of the way. I'm caught. Hey! Rhythmic chanting drowns out my voice. I thrash, throwing out my elbow as the press of bodies grow heavier. My hip knocks into a table. I grip it, holding on tight to steady myself, but the crowd is stilled. The chanting stopped. Oh my god! Seriously, you dogs, again? Scattered laughter and cheers rise from the audience. I drag my eyes upwards. Me too, buddy. Hell yeah. A well-dressed man stands on the table in front of me, his broad shoulders framed by the thick lapels of a trench coat. This really is the last time, alright? This time when he speaks, the audience falls silent as though bewitched by his magnetic presence or rich, low voice. But nothing is as captivating as his smile. He beams at the crowd around him, a performer on his makeshift stage. Don't blink or you'll miss it. Oh my god, what's he gonna do? He laughs and the dagger-shaped earring dangling from his left ear catches the light in a flash of gold. It would seem I found Leander. He raises his hand above the audience and snaps. A flash of pale green light, real magic. No ordinary stage trick blinds me. Oh my god. As the brilliance ebbs, my gaze refocuses on the mage towering above me. He flicks his wrist and the magic spiraling around him coalesces. A delicate flower stem sprouts from beneath his pinched finger. One by one, glowing lily petals spring forth. Oh my god, and he's a flower guy? We're here for it. With a flourish, the mage presents the conjured flower. The audience bursts into clapping and cheers. Leander plucks the iridescent bouquet out of the air and turns in a slow circle, giving his audience a good look. Now, who could use some good luck? Eager onlookers scoot closer to the table. Some reach for the lilies while others whistle and call Leander's names. But his cool green eyes slide right over them, locking on me instantly. Hell yes. How about you? My chest tightens. Every person gathered turns to stare at me. Oh, absolutely, we take the flowers. I reach out, all too aware of the way my fingers tremble as I carefully take the flowers from him. There's no weight to them, only a faint warmth that radiates from the stems. As soon as the flowers leave Leander's hand, their lights dim. They fade away in a shower of opalescent lights. That's the problem with flowers. They don't last long, but they leave an impression, right? Aw, he's cute. He grins at me, and I find myself smiling back. Gosh, look at him. What a dream. Leander steps off the table, dropping among the excited crowd with an audible clink. Before I can make my way towards Leander, his eyes find me. He gives me a friendly wave, then beckons me over to the crowded counter. I manage to squeeze beside him, but there's so little room that his broad shoulders press against mine. I tense, but he doesn't seem to mind at all. Is this your first time in Iridia? He says it lightly, with a genuine air of curiosity. Do I stick out that much? No, but I'm certain I remember seeing a face as lovely as yours around Lowton. Dude, he already be flirting? Oh my god. My eyes flicker to the polished countertop. I'm not used to flattery, and being this close makes eye contact difficult. What can I get you? Surprise me, and add anything my friend wants to my tab. Oh my god, and he's paying for my drinks. Look at the smile. I love him. I'll have what he's having. That's what you say, right? While the bartender leaves to fix our drinks, Leander leans his elbow on the counter. I'm close enough to notice the purple shadows under his lower lids. A sleepy king, you know? His eyes wander over me in return, but when they lock on my bandaged hands, a sour taste rises in my throat. Here comes the questions. So what brings you to the Wick? Kyrus sent me. He pushes his hair back from his forehead, but it immediately falls right back into place. The bartender returns with a pair of glasses filled with what I can only assume is beer. I raise my glass and give it an experimental sniff. It smells faintly yeasty, but with an undercurrent I can't quite place. A quick sip confirms my worst suspicion. It's awful. Somehow briny and sour in a way that reminds me of pickles. Oh, God! How can I be of assistance? I need to get to the cenobium. The entire bar falls silent. Were they all eavesdropping on me? Yikes. Bloodhounds twist around in their seat to gawk openly. Finally, an especially drunk one speaks up. The hell are you bringing up the cenobium in here? The vitriol catches me off guard. From the angry looks thrown my way, it's clear I've broken some unspoken rule just by mentioning the cenobium. When I glance at Leander, he's drinking as though he hasn't noticed the uproar. Only when he catches me looking does he lower his glass. Hey, keep it down, will you? This is business. I tense, expecting an argument, but the outspoken bloodhounds silently return to their drinks. Only a handful continue to watch me warily. Sorry about them, the cenobium's a bit of a touchy subject in these parts. Mix in enough drinks and, well, you saw. How about we continue this outside? Kyrus didn't send you here for help with the cenobium, did he? No, he didn't. He suggested I find an alternative. Yet here you are, asking about them anyways. What do you need the cenobium for? I don't want to tell him about my curse, so less people know about my capabilities the better. Thankfully, Leander takes my reluctant silence as an answer. Well, I see you're already aware of the city's currency. Information's worth its weight in gold here. Kyrus told you the truth. The cenobium's dangerous. Get on their bad side and they'll imprison you if you're lucky, or torture you if you're not. But the cenobium's supposed to be a place of learning, a sanctuary. The cenobium's always been heralded as the last bastion of human knowledge, a shining beacon of hope in a world steeped in nightmares. If any place held answers, it would be the cenobium. That's why I came here. That's what they want you to think, but things that seem too good to be true are often just that. Such a simple statement, and yet it leaves me reeling. If it's true, if I staked everything on a lie, then what now? But as I always say, there's a solution to every problem and alternatives to every solution. That's why Kyrus pointed you to the bloodhounds. Let us help you. Whether it's hunting soulless, finding people, or recovering stolen valuables, we can do it all, and free of charge. Listen, I appreciate the offer, but my problems can't be solved by a group of good Samaritans. You're searching for a magical solution, aren't you? I'd be happy to help you out, that is, if you'll tell me what ails you. Leander might not work for the cenobium, but he is a mage, and a powerful one at that, if his demonstration earlier is any indication. I'm silent, plagued by indecision. I don't know if I can trust him, but if it's not like I have any alternatives. I hated to admit it, but this could be my only path forward. My confession comes out in a pained whisper. I'm cursed. Oh, now I'm very curious. What kind of curse? Something ancestral or more recent? It's your hands, isn't it? I wait until I'm certain my voice will remain steady before answering. My touch is dangerous. It changes people, hurts them. Before I even finish, Leander begins taking his gloves off. He tugs his right hand free and flexes his fingers. He offers me his hand, and a prismatic flash of magic ripples across his palms, but I'm already shrinking backwards. I don't care how confident Leander is, I can't bring myself to hurt him, to see his face twist into a mask of madness. Believe me, this isn't an ordinary curse. I'll be fine. Perhaps where you came from, your affliction was as strange and one of a kind. But spend a year in the city, you'll see 1,000 curses and thrice as many cures. Do you really think Curus would send you here if I couldn't handle it? How should I know? I only met him today. I'm as good as any mage in the Cenobium, better even. If they can help, so can I. You don't know what you're asking me. I'm asking you to trust me. I look from Leander's outstretched hand to his confident smile. But with a short breath, I begin unwinding the bandages from my hand. Fine, but if you lose control, don't say I didn't warn you. You can tie me up first if it makes you feel better. Oh my god, look, he's blushing! Oh my god. With each joint I expose, I grow more and more certain that this is a terrible idea, but my fingers hover shakily over his palms. 3, 2, 1. Oh, I'm scared. Oh, we're gonna save. We're gonna be a save slut. I feel like we touch him because that's like we're trusting him, right? I tap his palm once, as quickly as possible. It's barely more than a brush, but that's all it's ever taken. When I look at his face, expecting to see the worst, Leander only grins. See? It can't be. This time when I reach out to touch Leander's palm again, he catches my wrist before I can pull away. I told you, there's really nothing to worry about. Oh, he's blushing! Look at him! He trails off when my thumb brushes the soft skin of his inner wrist. I search Leander's face for traces of madness, but his eyes remain a clear, soft green. Color rises in his cheek, but he remains still except for the subtle bobbing of his throat. Oh my god, he's so cute! Neither of us speak as I trace the contour of Leander's palms, lost in awareness I wasn't prepared for. I've been with other people, kissed them, been embraced by them, and more, but not like this. My fingers, long depraved by years of bandaging, pick up every single detail. The grooves of his palm, the smooth shell of his nails, the pulse of his heart. For as long as I've lived, I've never been able to hold someone's hand, not without dire consequences. I've never realized what I was missing until this moment. While Leander's pulse is steady, mine is hammering as fear gives way to excitement. You know what? We're gonna keep holding this man's hand. My hand glides over Leander's wrist and up his forearms, where smooth skin abruptly gives way to raised scars on the edge of his sleeve. It matches the one that runs from his collar to cheekbone. Could it be the same wound? I glance at Leander's face, his lips part as he considers his words before speaking. Am I the first person you've ever been able to touch like this? My hand goes still on his arm. So far. I'll admit, your touch does make it somewhat difficult to stay level-headed, but not due to your power. Oh my god, this is so cute. He takes my hand, his soft green eyes flake to mine before he turns to inspect the gold fissures crisscrossing my knuckles. Look, we match. Oh, that's so cute. He points at a golden pin on his coat collar, and I give him a small smile. I draw my hand back and take a steadying breath. My head feels as though it's stuffed with cotton. I can't believe that worked. May I ask your name? I'm Rayla. You were right to hide this from me, Rayla. That curse of yours is unlike anything I've ever dealt with. You'd best not go showing that off to anyone else. I didn't plan on it. Are you staying in Lowtown? I pause. Room and board was something I hadn't yet considered. I don't know. Let's get you properly settled then. What a man. What a man he is, you know? Got any room left, or did my lot grab them all to sleep it off? The bartender, who I now realize doubles as an innkeeper, slides a key onto the counter. You know I always keep the corner room open for your escapades. Oh my god, he's a player. Leander's laugh sounds slightly strained. He's like, bro, please don't out me like this. Not now. And I always appreciate it, but you're mistaken. This is just for my friend, Rayla. Sure. Stay as long as you like. You two have fun. Oh my god. Escapades, huh? Leander clears his throat, then holds the key out to me. Go explore, Rayla. You'll find many roads in Iridia, each leading in different answers. But if you need a reprieve from what haunts you, come find me. I adore him. I need to see the Cenobium for myself, if only to satisfy my curiosity. I should have asked someone at the bar for directions before leaving. The shadow runs down the street in rivulets, formless, dark spread like ink into blotted shapes. Claws stretch, a muzzle splits open to reveal long, jagged teeth. A growl rumbles so low and deep I feel it. I want to run, to scream, but I feel trapped, as though the slightest movement or a single breath will snap the jaws around me shut. No, I won't let it in like this. If I'm going to die, I want to see what got me first. I still myself, then turn. Oh, nothing. The shadow vanishes as quickly as it came. I'm left standing in the middle of the street, alone, except for a figure reclining in the shadows of a nearby stoop. Hello? A monster. That much is clear from glance. One that can nearly be mistaken for a human were it not for the tufted ears, the tail curled around its ankles. Our eyes meet and the monster uncrosses his long legs. His hair gleams a shade of red that reminds me unsettlingly of blood where it curls around its collared throat. Jumpy, aren't you? His tone is so light and carefree that I glance over my shoulder to make sure he's speaking to me. Didn't you see that shadow just now? It was massive, moved like a beast. Even as I speak, I'm aware of how ridiculous I must sound, but the stranger smile doesn't falter. The only beasts I've seen are the Wick's drooling regulars, though this did catch my eye. Oh, he got my key! With a flourish of his hands, my in-room key appears dangling from his fingers. It turns on his chain, glistening when it catches the light. I've already taken 2 steps forward before some stifled instinct stops me. Something feels wrong. I always attract the worst kind of attention, but I can't get rattled now. Who said that key's mine? His smile widens enough to reveal pointed canines. I saw you drop it. You really should be more careful. City like this, somebody might take advantage. A bald-faced lie said without a hint of irony. I can't figure out how he picked my pockets under my nose, but I'm certain he took my key and I need it back. I approach the man, careful to keep an arm's length away. He doesn't look dangerous, but the most deadly ones never do. Oh, his little ear twitch. The stranger's chain softly clinks with a tilt of his head. His ear flicks. Keeping your distance? Until I figure out how you managed to rob me? Yeah, I am. You think I stole your dinky little key from all the way over here? I'm good with my hands, but not that good. Do I really look like a common thief to you? He got me there. The sheer fabric of his sleeves alone were too expensive for street thieves. Hell, his shoes looked like they cost more than I spent traveling here. And then there's the shop behind him. No matter the city, parted pink curtains only ever meant one thing. I'm not looking to buy, and I doubt I could afford your services anyways. Is he a man of the streets? What is he? Luckily for you, I don't charge. The man runs the tip of his tongue over a fang, and for the first time since I've stepped into his shadow, I feel something other than dread. My face grows hot. Oh my god, that's not what I meant. I'm flattered, really. Were sex my trade, I might make an exception for you. How about half off for a handy? Or you could just hand over my key. Oh my god. Ask nicely and I might even let you tug my tail. Oh my god. Just throw it here. So some spindly little street urchin can snatch it and run? I suppose I could just claim your room for myself. Not that I'd be caught dead slumming in the Wick with the rest of those slack-jawed imbeciles. You're obviously not from around here, so tell me, traveler. What misfortune brought you to this wretched place? I love how his ears, like the animation on his ears. I'm not telling you anything. What could have possibly drawn you to this dreary little pig pen, I wonder? The weather's shit, the food's dreck, and there's entirely too many monsters for a human to feel safe. Unless... Dagger-sharp eyes flick towards me, they gleam with amusement. Unless you're just dying to consort with monsters. By now, my embarrassment has worn away, leaving simmering impatience in its place. If this is a shakedown, it's the most frustrating one I've ever experienced. I kind of want to flirt back with him, but I feel like it's a mistake. How do you know that I spent all my money starved and nearly died in a swamp just so I could crawl into bed with the first thirsty monster I could see? Oh, that was not just a flirt. That was like a... well, bam at him. That earns me a breath of breathy laughter. He gazes at me under his dark lashes. Aren't you funny? Could you be any more obvious? So your place or mine? If only I had my key, then I might be able to invite you up. His languid gaze glides from me to the key in his hand and back. Come, take my hand and we'll go together. The more he flirts, the more convinced I become that this is some kind of trap. No matter how innocent monsters look, they always have tricks up their sleeves. Oh yeah, I mean, I absolutely believe it's a trap. I'm just trying to get this key back. And something tells me that this one's more dangerous than he lets on, even if he has a lovely laugh. I don't know what you want or why you're messing with me, but I'm not coming any closer until I know you aren't going to attack or bite. I won't bite hard unless you beg me. Oh my god. No matter what I say, he finds a way to twist my words into an innuendo. It's his specialty, apparently. Even when I'm silent, he goes on as though we're having a conversation, not a standoff. Do you like dancing? There's a traveling troupe performing in Hightown tonight. There's life in this dreadful place if you know where to look. You sound like you know the city well. Hightown, Lowtown, I know Iridia like the back of my hand. What about the Cenobium? Do you know where that is? His smile vanishes. Surely you've seen it, the absurdly large tower looming over the rest. It's a little hard to miss. Cenobium's overrated, forget about it. I can show you the things those stuffy boars in their limp dick tower couldn't even dream of. I've already got plans. Oh? Have you some pressing matter at the Cenobium? Lunch date with the librarians? Tea time with the most esteemed abyss? That's my business. What's it matter to you? Your loss. The stranger, finally bored of his tedious game, extends his hand towards me. The key rests on his palm, neatly dividing skin and leather. When he makes no other move, I reach for the key, but as soon as my finger grazes smooth brace, his hand springs shut around my elbow. Hey! Uh-oh. He yanked me down and I stagger, my soul slipping on the step. For a sick moment, I fear my bandages will unravel under his touch, but he's careful not to disturb them, even as his fingers dig into my arm. I knew I smelled blood, eureka, death in the road. Oh my god, his eyes. And that fucking doctor. His voice, once silken, lowers to a smoky growl. The shadows around him seethe and boil as he pulls me closer. He murmurs against my throat, nose grazing my jaw. Let go! I try to twist away, but he doesn't budge. His breath trails down my neck, sending a thrill of dread through me. But just when I fear he'll bite me, he takes a deep whiff instead. Not quite human, not quite monster, seems we're both. Veer! A stranger twitches around to watch a woman duck out from the curtains behind him. Her pressed uniform bears the insignia of the cenobium. I leave you for all of, 10 minutes and you're making trouble again? Will you quit harassing the tourists? So suspicious, can't you see this is a friend of mine? A natural liar. He grins at me, and his tail swishes minutely. The woman purses her lips at me, clearly unconvinced. Open my mouth to correct him, but Varys cuts in. I was graciously offering my dear friend some free advice. Though his voice remains light and cheerful, his expression darkens. Dangers drawn to you like moth to flame. It will always find you given time. Words of advice: don't take free advice from lazy foxes lounging in the streets. This crook would sell water to a drowning man for the sheer enjoyment of it. She shrugs off a wilting look from Veer. Oh please, any friends of yours knows it's true. Now hold still. Veer rises gracefully at her approach. He pushes his hair aside so it drapes over one shoulder, exposing the long line of his neck. And suddenly, it dawns on me that the jingling I heard earlier wasn't coming from the harness attached to his collar, but a leash. A heavy iron chain wound around a hitching post and padlock to the back of his collar. The woman regards me with a polite, if tight, smile before marching down the stairs. Veer lingers. He stretches his arm over his head with a yawn, and I try not to stare at the way his stomach flattens when he arches his back. Little secret safe with me. Try not to get yourself killed, It's only after he and the cleric have vanished from sight I realize I'm still missing something. Wait. Reflectively, I shove my hands into my pockets and find it there, the room key. I use the key from my pocket and smooth my thumb over its teeth as I try to recall a touch, a tell, or any hint of Veer's sleight of hand, but I can't figure out how he did it. All I know for certain is that the cenobium saw fit to leash him, the fate I could share, if that's what his vague warning meant. Hours later, legs arching, sweat beading on my forehead, I finally find what I was searching for. The cenobium of the luminous void. It stands at the highest point of Iridia, surrounded by cold white walls. Well-dressed people stroll down the walkways, paying no attention to the massive tower in their midst. I'm halfway up the steps when something moves in my peripheral vision. A shadowy figure crouches beneath one of the white walls. They reach out and tug on a vine, as if testing its strength. Oi, you there! The shadows vanish as quickly as I spotted it, and the gaunt-faced man in a crisp charcoal uniform marches up the steps towards me. Ugh, another tourist. Get out of here once you're done gawking. I don't know why I gave him that voice, but I guess that was the choice I made. I step away from the gates, hopelessness washing over me. Hello? I whisper so close I can feel the warm brush of breath on my skin. I instinctively jerk away, but there's no one beside me. Halfway down the staircase, I spot a woman swaying in the breeze. She's gone as a rail, her blouse moth-eaten. I'm unable to take my eyes off of her, not because of the way she smiles a little too widely or the way her tousled braids look unbrushed for days, but because her eyes shine as vibrant, unnatural crimson. I'm both entranced and unsettled by the subtle glow. These days you need a miracle to get in there. I'm unsure how to respond, or if I even should. We like being sarcastic. Seems like I'm in the market for a miracle. Know anyone selling? She beams at me like I've said the greatest thing she's ever heard. Lucky for you, I have them for free. Whatever she's selling, I'm not interested. My words come out in a tired breath. No thanks. I start down the stairs, but she abruptly steps into my path. She turns her back to me, and before I can react, she slips her fingers under the lacing of her collar, stripping out of her blouse in broad daylight. Well, what are you do? As worn fabric unveils bare skin, my panic is smothered by cold horror. A misshapen, sunken scar curves into the woman's body. Pitted, gnarled skin snakes down her shoulders, blooming from a gaping hole in the back of her neck. The fuck? Whatever disease this woman had ate away at her from inside out. I do like the idea of someone showing me them. They're like fucked up body. I'm just like, the fuck is wrong with you? How is she able to move or breathe? It's impossible. She shouldn't be alive, and yet. The power to cure anything can be yours too. That's the power of the sea spring. Ooh. If I've caught your interest, then follow me. It's only a short walk away. This could be the stupidest decision in my life, but what choice do I have? I take a final look at Snowbean's shut gates and follow her down the steps. I don't know that we should follow this lady. That's all I'm saying. but the crimson-eyed woman takes me farther still until I've met with an all too familiar sight. Oh no. My gut lurches when I face the open horizon. The city outskirts are hardly recognizable in daylight, and probably safer for it, but venturing beyond Iridia's walls is a gamble I wasn't prepared to take so soon. Keep going straight, and the sea spring will reveal itself to you. I bark out a bitter laugh, loud and involuntary. I'd rather not. Are you kidding? It's not safe out there. You're as safe inside the city as outside of it. Truthfully, the territory before you is the safest of all. This region belongs to Ice. Most people know him as a gang leader, but he's much more than I am. Oh, I've seen Ice, and I'm here for it, you know? I squint against the empty wastelands. Only a fool or someone with nothing to lose would leave the city. Apparently, I'm both. I set off into the waste. Over my shoulder, the woman calls after me. Good luck, Rayla. I hope we meet again. I didn't tell her my name. For what seems like an eternity, I force each step forward, one step, then another, until a realization hits me. I never told the woman my name. Yeah, I already called that. Something pierces the horizon ahead of me. A building nestled into a tall cliffside, but so starkly out of place it might as well be a hallucination. It drips with extravagance and honeyed mahogany, an ornate jewel of architecture. A row of dark silhouettes stand out on the horizon. Trees, I think, until I'm close enough to realize that what I mistook for branches were spikes and jutting tendrils. Soulless. Several of them watch me in the distance, like statues. I don't think, I just run, exploding into a messy sprint. I push my legs as fast as they'll take me towards the decorated building. The next thing I know, I'm dashing up wooden stairs and crashing through the towering double doors. We just busted in this man's home. I gasp for air, my lungs burning from exertion. I'm desperate to be safe, but when I process my surroundings, it's more hellscape than sanctuary. I don't know, it looks pretty cozy. Blood flows all around me, overwhelming my vision with a lurid, unholy red. Instinctively, my hands leap to my mouth, but the rotten stench of blood never comes. Instead, a smoky scent hangs in the air, sharp and spiced. I swallow thickly, convincing myself that it's not as gruesome as it appears. This has to be the sea spring, the place that grants miracles. Pulling my eyes away from the pool, I take in the rest of the environment. Tall pillars flank me, blanketed in written notes. Seating pillows scatter the floor. A rustic kettle sits nearby. Someone must live here, despite how eerily empty it is. I'm just saying. This had blanketed written notes. These very much look like, I think they're called talismans. I've seen them in a lot of like Asian horror movies and stuff that are supposed to like protect you from evil spirits and stuff. That's what that looks like to me. I'm just saying. I feel like we call out. Hello, is anyone here? My voice echoes across the cavern without response. I approach the paper-covered pillars. Maybe something here can tell me more. I reach for the closest one. I reach for a note in front of me. It reads, Dear Mother, don't cry for me. I'm sorry I didn't say goodbye, but we'll meet again in another life. I love you very much. From Iris. Okay, I was wrong. I can admit that I was wrong. They're not the little talisman things I was thinking of. P.S. If you ever see me, never speak to me again, alright? Before I can ponder it further, a sharp chill runs down my spine. Something's watching me. I quickly set the note back, my eyes darting around the wooden deck, but it's still empty, vacant. Hey. I spin around and come face to face with a pack of soulless. Oh, shit. They chitter and growl, tendrils and spikes flaring threateningly, all different sizes and species, but sharing one identical trait, glowing crimson eyes. I try to back away, but my heels teeter over the sea spring. I'm cornered. Watch your step, it's deeper than it looks. That voice again. At the sound of it, the soulless freeze, their snarls quieting. Oh shit. I search for the voice's source and find it above me, lounging in the rafters. This is second favorite boy, I think. Nice. You look lost, little sparrow. His gaze is a violent crimson, one that sears through me, leaves me feeling raw and exposed. They're the same eyes I've seen over and over, first with the scarred woman, now with the soulless circling me, all bound by the sea spring's blood red. In the shrouds of darkness behind him, shapes like massive tentacles twist and coil around the wooden beams. I can't focus, the soulless growls ring in my ear. They're not advancing, but that could change any second. Panic rises in my throat as I struggle to track them. Hey, eyes on me. My stomach rolls as I tear my eyes away from the soulless. Don't ignore someone who's talking to you. It's not polite. For a moment, anger knocks my fear aside. Who is this bastard? You know what? Who is this bastard? And can I kiss him? Fuck you. I look right into his unnerving eyes, holding his gaze defiantly. Fuck you, is that better? A crooked grin cracks across his face. We'll work on it. I know this is a bastard. I scan the soulless again. They really aren't attacking, posturing more than anything else, almost if they're waiting for commands. Did you tame them? Power of the sea spring. They're hungry, so they might bite. You could give me a reason to stop them. How about I didn't do anything wrong? Trespassing, and that's punishable by death? He gives a non-committal shrug. I called out earlier to see if anyone was here. Were we supposed to play hide and seek? Didn't hear you. My voice stops in my throat. This man's terse coolness is both infuriating and terrifying, and also a little bit sexy. I rack my brain for a different way to diffuse the situation. Tell me what you want. I'm not in the mood for guessing games. Your hands. In marriage? Alarm jolts through me. I hide my hands under my cloak. Show me. Why? Won't ask twice. With a sharp huff, I reluctantly hold out my bandaged hands. Are you getting off on this? Unwrap them. Heat rushes to my face and fire to my tongue. I should give him a piece of my mind, but not when his solas are one command away from ripping me to shreds. My hands are trembling when I finally raise them. I know the skin beneath the wrapping all too well. The hideous, unnatural flesh I've grown to despise. I grab the edge of the bandages. Stop. I was just doing what he said. With a weary sigh, the man slides off the beam and lands with a thud that shakes the panels underfoot. He's a monster, with an imposing figure that towers over me. I couldn't tell how tall he was before, but he's big. Illuminated by lantern light, his features are stronger, sharper, sexier. What does he want? Is he going to kill me? I step backward and find nothing to set my foot on. I've forgotten my back was to the C spring. I fall right before a warm hand catches my lower back. Oh, he got me! I'm hovering over the C spring, the scent of smoke and leather enveloping me. Blazing crimson eyes bore into mine. Told you to watch your step. Like I weigh nothing, he guides me back to the solid ground and steps back. Following a subtle gesture from his fingers, the soulless around us disperse and relax. The shift in their demeanor is so abrupt it gives me whiplash. Thanks. As focused on me as he was before, the monster pays no attention to me now. He kicks some seating pillows out of the walkway, checks the contents of the kettle with a scowl. The sudden disregard is almost insulting. So that's it? I'm not a threat anymore? Never were one. Then why'd you threaten me? People get honest when they're afraid. In other words, he was messing with me. I drag a hand over my face, exhausted by the fact that this is the second time a monster has provoked me today. It just keeps happening, too. You're ice, aren't you? Depends who's asking. One of your friends told me this was your territory. She also said you were a gang leader, but there's no one else here. I thought there'd be more people. Ice picks up the kettle and walks to the edge of the sea spring, then dumps out the contents into the endless red. Gang took a walk. His pleasant smile stretches across his face ear to ear. Look, he looks so cute. Look at this face. What an angel. An angel with devil horns, you know? Then in an instant, it drops. I get the sense that I shouldn't ask about his gang again. Oh, he's got the sexy eyebrow scar. No, that's my weakness, dude. Something must have happened. I've learned to recognize a real leader when I see one. Ice regrettably fits the type perfectly. He knows how to scare people, and he expects submission, but it's uncommon for someone so used to being in power to be so alone. What do you need the sea spring's power for? Depends. Can it cure a curse? Probably. You mean you don't know? Nope. My frustration builds. I narrow my eyes at him in a questioning glare. When he notices, he returns it with an amused smirk. Oh, he's a bastard, and I love him. Are you being irritating on purpose? Listen, Sparrow, the sea spring can cure anything. Nothing's stopping you from trying it yourself. What do I have to do? Drink? I have to drink from the sea spring? My eyes glide to the blood-like pool beside us. The idea of ingesting the strange liquid makes my gut turn. Yeah, I was thinking more of like bathe in it, to be honest. Is there a price? Always. Ice taps his temple with a finger. You lose it a little bit. Oh, that's it? Might have already beat it to the punch. My humor earns me an amused fang grin. When you drink from the sea spring, you forget who you are. Oh shit. Your mind combines with everyone else who's ever drank before. Humans, monsters, soulless. One big happy family in your head. My blood runs cold. I've heard of these before. Group minds. I thought they were just rumors. I've heard whispers of cults performing rituals to bind their members' minds together. It never seemed possible. Your eyes are red too, but you obviously haven't forgotten who you are. Before I can finish my sentence, eyes stride past me towards the entrance. Time's up. Let's finish this later. Wait, already? You barely told me anything. Came on a bad day. I've got somewhere to be. I was told to come here for help, but instead I get threatened and kicked out. You're joking, right? Watch your tone. I'm nice, but you don't want to ruin the host's mood. My skin prickles. The feeling of being watched washes over me again. My eyes dart back over the sea spring. A lone ripple dances on the quiet surface. I take Ice's advice and clamp my mouth shut. Ice approaches a nearby soulless, a lanky dog-like one with 6 legs and a crown of tendrils. Several sets of crimson eyes adorn its side. Its forked tail wags rapidly when Ice squats beside it. He runs his fingers through the tendrils, scratches its shins, and pats its head. Oh, it's like a little doggy friend. Oh, I love it. A gentle smile plays across Ai's lips. The affection he holds for the Solus is painfully clear. I dip my eyes away, my stomach fluttering at the tender sight. It's getting dark out, so this pretty girl will guide you back. Oh, that's cute. He calls his dog a pretty girl. Following a short whistle from Ai's lips, it trots over to the engine. Obediently, tail swaying. I watch the Solus warily. Pretty is not a word I would use to describe it, and the idea of protecting me sounds absurd. If I decide to drink, how should I find you? Find someone with eyes like mine. They'll point you in the right direction. But think it over. Once you drink, you can't go back. I follow the Solus at a measured distance and watch it nudge the giant door open with ease. When I'm about to cross the threshold, I sink one last glance behind me. My heart skips when I meet Ai's eyes. I'm about to snap my head away, but he just flashes me an easy smile. Till next time, Sparrow, I'll buy you a drink for scaring you. Aww, I love him. I don't trust myself to do anything but respond with another curt nod. It's my second boyfriend. Outside, more crimson-eyed Solus scuttle about. It's hard to believe it's the same threatening pack from before. They chase each other in circles, roll around in the bog's mud. They pay no attention to me as the dog-like one escorts me away. They're just little guys. They're just happy little guys, you know? Dusk darkens the sky by the time we reach the city. The Solus sets and looks at me expectantly with familiar crimson eyes. I want to pet it. As nervous I am, I carefully glide my fingers through the Solus tendrils and scratch beneath its chin, just like Ai's had. It pushes into my palm and responds, rumbling with a sound akin to a purr. The vibrations are soothing, almost healing my fatigue. That is so cute. I love it. When it's satisfied, the Solus spins around and scampers back in the direction we came, vanishing into the darkness. My head spins. Maybe I should call it a day. Maybe I should. Maybe I should fall into Leander's arms, you know? The streets are completely deserted. If I hadn't been here earlier, I would have thought this part of the city abandoned. I make my way through the winding streets, doing my best to keep my bearing towards the wet wick. My steps slow when I hear rustling in the dark. I strain my ears, but everything is still. Is the silence playing tricks on me? The fine hairs on the back of my neck prickle, a frisson of discomfort running down my spine. Something is wrong. My eyes dart from one side of the street to another, searching for movement, but the shadows are as deep and dark as pools of ink and I see nothing. Though I keep my eyes sharp and listen intently, there's only the sound of my own footsteps. As the moment passed and nothing happened, I begin to wonder, maybe I really did imagine the noise. I turn the next corner and my thoughts come screaming to a halt. My head spins, the world blurring as adrenaline rushes through my vein. Only one thing is clear amidst the haze. The Solus that attacked the caravan. Oh shit. My feet feel heavy as stones, but I can't just stand here. Holding my breath, I take a step backwards. When the wet, slurping sound don't abate, I take another, then another. Then a shard of glass crunches under my heel. Oh, fuck. The world seems slow to crawl as the Solus raises its head, blood dripping from its tendrils. Every single one of its bulging eyes flicks unblinkingly on me. It's really here. It came back for me. I've considered my choices. Consider them hard. I think I'm going to run. I'm off like a shot, running for my life through the darkened streets. Behind me, a piercing bass splits the silence, and heavy footfalls pound after me. My heart thunders in my chest. I take turns at random, trying to lose it in the maze of streets, but I can't seem to shake it. I can hear it breathing now, a wet, fluttering rasp growing closer and closer. The same claws that severed my arm swipe out. I duck, saved by pure reflex, and skid around a corner. I take 3 running strides before the bottom drops out of my stomach. A wall twice as high as me bars my way. I dead end. When I turn around, the Solus looms in the entry to the alleyway. It's no longer running. It doesn't have to. As it prowls closer, my thoughts race. Some of the buildings lining the streets are lit. There must be people inside. It's a long shot, but I feel like we try the nearest door. I roll, grabbing at the handles of the closest door. It turns completely. The hinges creak as I push, and I feel a flash of hope before a weight hits the door from the other side and it slams shut. The click of the lock turning is grimly final. In this wretched world, few people will stick their necks out to help their own flesh and blood, never mind a stranger. Well, I feel like if that's true, even screaming for help wouldn't have mattered. The Solus gives a rasping hiss. It's the only warning I get before it lunges for me with a flash of claws. I hurl myself to the side, but the slick cobblestones betray me. I fall, spiraling over the rough stone. As the Solus looms over me, I scramble away from it until my back hits the wall. There's nowhere left to go. It descends on me for the kill, but the impact never comes. Oh, it's the person I haven't met. I warily crack one eye open, then the other, not sure whether I should believe what I'm seeing. A hooded figure crouches in front of me, one blood-stained hand outstretched. Moonlight silvers the edge of their stiletto knife. Their face and hands are splattered with blood in the Solus. My eyes dart past my unexpected rescuer to the misshapen form behind them. The Solus' many eyes once restless and vibrant, now looked dull and waxy. A red pool spread slowly from under its body. Well, the hunter looks very sexy with the blood on their face and hands. I'm just saying. I gingerly take the offered hands. The stranger's gaze dips to my bandages. Pale lips part on the brink of a question, then closes again. With a strength belaying their slight frame, they pull me to my feet. Stay there. They turn away from me stiffly, leaning over the cellist's gangly body. With her back towards me, I realize that I saw their hooded silhouette at the cenobium. I've seen you before. You were at the cenobium earlier, weren't you? They cast a wary look at me. So what if I was? Their harsh response takes me aback. Before I can formulate a response, they continue. What are you thinking traveling alone at night? This is far from the worst thing haunting Lowtown. I can't make heads or tail of them. First they save me and now they scold me. Lesson learned, I could do without the lecture though. To my surprise, they break eye contact. I clear my throat to fill the silence. I'm Rayla. Min. I think that's how you say it. Their blade flashes as they drive it into the back of the Solus' neck. The Solus thrash once, letting out a rattling hiss as the air leaves its lungs. Min leans on the blade, driving it deeper and deeper until there's a sickening crunch and the creature goes limp. Better to put wretched things like this out of their misery. They calmly clean the blood from their knife. That swift, unhesitating lethal strike wasn't the work of an amateur. But they don't act like any of the cold-blooded killers I've seen in the past. Why is the Solus inside the city? Min looks at me, eye searching, before realization dawns. You're new here. There's no wall around the city. Solus can come and go as they please until someone is contracted to stop them. The cenobium patrols don't bother to protect Lowtown, not anymore. Let me guess, you're not a fan of the cenobium. I wouldn't go that far. It's not safe here. The vultures can smell death. I'm not quite sure what they mean, but I don't want to stay lost in this city. I trail behind them as they stride down the street. If it's so dangerous, then why are you helping me? I came from the bounty on the Solus, and you were in the way. Not killing you isn't the same as helping you. Don't count on being so lucky again, or you'll be dead by sunrise. Damn, they got a point, though. Their answer is stingingly harsh. I hold my hands up, trying to forestall any more snippy comments. Alright, I get it. I'd love to get out of your way, but I'm sort of lost. I just needed directions back to my lodgings. What makes you think I'll help you? Nothing, but there's no harm in asking. That seems to catch them off guard. Their brow knits and they look away, scowling. How troublesome. Rayla? Oh, hello. I turn, surprised by the voice. Curious walks down the streets towards me. His white and gold clothing is pristine despite the grime of the city. Hello, Min. I see the Solus was your work. Min shrugs. There's a familiarity to the way they regard each other. Yeah, well, you know them, Curious? Min is a freelancer who has done a few errands for me. They are quite reliable. Unreliable freelancers don't eat. There's something Curious isn't saying here. Rayla needs to get back to wherever she's staying before she wanders into the jaws of another Solus. It is late. Were you able to find a place to stay, Rayla? I'm staying at the Wetwick. Both their faces fall. Oh, they don't like my boy Leander? I see. Would you like a guide? It might be preferable to wandering about the alleys. That would be nice. Despite Min's clear distaste, when Curious leads me down the streets, they keep pace with us. Catching my curious glance, Min's eyes narrow. It's not safe this late. I don't care about you, but Curious is the only doctor who's worth a damn in this place. You know what? That's fair. He does seem like a really good doctor. Very handsome, very fancy, all that stuff. It seems like half the city has poured into the Amaryllis district's colorful streets. Laughter, clinking glasses, and music assault my ears from every direction. Yet the most noise still comes from the Wetwicks. Its doors hang wide open, lanterns lit. Here we are. He moves towards the door and Min lets out an audible huff. Don't tell me you're going in. I have some quick business with Leander. Ugh, fine. He still owes me for yesterday's work. We about to see my man again. As soon as the door opens, a wave of sticky heat rolls over me. In the hours since I left, the wick has grown suffocatingly crowded. Curious stands out, easily a head taller than most. Even so, I nearly lost sight of him amid the sea of swarming bodies. Leander is right where I left him, although he traded places with the bartender. He has a pair of shot glasses filled to the brim with luminous green liquid. And now for the finishing touch. In a flash of magic paints the glass with white with frost. You're never going to guess what's in these. Leander slides the glass across the bar, and I get my third and fourth shocks of the evening in rapid succession. Eyes leans across the bar, an elbow propped up on the counter. Oh my god, all my men are here? What am I supposed to do? He catches the glasses and lifts one to the light before turning it upside down. The contents magically congealed. Stay firmly in place. You're supposed to make drinks, pretty boy. Don't tell me you're wasted already. Veer, perched on the bar's counter beside Ice, takes a single look at the shot glass and shakes his head. What have we here? A bucket full of boogers and Leander's nose treasures? You've eaten worse. Veer's lip twists and his ears flatten when Ice offers him a glass. He turns his cheek with a sniff, and Ice just snickers. Coward. Don't tell me you're actually... In one fluid motion, Ice throws back his head and downs the shot. Drinking that. A dark look crosses Ice's face. It's Chewy. Chewy? Wait, let me try again. If it isn't Kyrus and Min. At the sound of Leander's voice, Min's pale eyes grow wide. They look ready to bolt until Kyrus sets a hand on their shoulder. I promise this will not take long. Min's eyes dart from Kyrus' hands to his face, then soften. Fine, you first. Good evening, Leander, Ice. Another drinking competition, I presume? Oh, is it evening already? Could have sworn it was earlier. Damn, look at him. My boys. Just some friendly rivalry, Doc. Nothing to be afraid of. Kyrus acknowledges Leander and Ice with the slightest nod, ignoring Veer entirely. Not that Veer seems to mind. He tilts his head and an impish smile curves his lips when he spots Min looming silently behind Kyrus. I almost didn't see you there, Min. Looking for your booster seat? Min pushes back their hood. They level Veer with a cool look. I thought Ice wasn't allowed to bring his pets in here. Veer's tail gives an angry twitch. Look at them! Oh, I love them all. At the first sign of an impending fight, Leander vaults clear over the counter. He slides in between Ice and Kyrus. Now, let's try and keep the peace. It's not every day this team doctor takes us up on drinks. His arms snake around Kyrus' shoulders. You're finally taking me up on that drink, right, Kyrus? I'm afraid not. We were merely escorting Rayla back to her lodgings. Kyrus gestures in my direction and my stomach sinks. Reluctantly step into the light. Yeah, suddenly all of these people looking at me? Not ideal. As soon as he sees me, Lander's face brightens. Rayla, it's been too long. Everyone, this is Rayla. She's new to Iridia. I feel 5 pair of eyes fixed onto me and suddenly the bar feels suffocatingly small. My voice nearly catches in my throat. Hi everyone. Again? Wait, you've already met everyone? Sure have. Ice and Veers level me with amused expression, Veers' tail giving a hazy wag. We did. Not that long ago either. I'm starting to suspect she's stalking me. He looks far too pleased with himself when I roll my eyes. This calls for drinks. What does everyone want? I still can't believe they all know each other. Watching them amongst each other feels surreal. For the first time since I undertook the journey to Iridia, I feel a faint glimmer of hope, I think. No, I know I was meant to meet them. The low, pleasant rumble of Leander's laughter pulls me from my restless thoughts. Well, color me surprised. You make friends fast, Rayla. I wouldn't go that far. We were more like acquaintances. A wise man once said that acquaintances are merely friends you haven't shared a drink with yet. A wise man? You said that here last week. Let's toast to Rayla's health. Care to join in, Doctor? Kyrus politely declines with a wave of his hand. How about you, Min? No. Are you? No. Unbothered or uninterested in his company, Ice cants his head at me, a light smile on his lips. How about you, Sparrow? I did say I'd buy you a drink earlier. No, my treat. Ice regards Leander over the lip of his glass. In the dim light, the glint in his crimson eyes looks downright dangerous. Oh, they're fighting over... Boys, you can't fight over me already. What'll it be, Rayla? Oh, shit. Okay, no, it's fine. I'll take you up on that drink, as long as it's not one of those green shots. Don't knock them till you try them. They taste better than they look. Somehow I doubt that, but I hold my tongue long enough for Leander to go behind the bar. He's lying, isn't he? When I glance at Ice, he only shrugs. Like I said, they were chewy. Probably poison too. He considers his own drink a tumbler of amber-colored whiskey. Leander's tried to kill me a dozen times by now. It's always a gamble. Were I you, I wouldn't let Leander put anything in my mouth. He fans his fingers over his chest, voice dripping with fake reverence. Gotta stick around for the real attractions, though. Before I can ask what he means, Leander returns with a tumbler that he sets in front of me. Uneven chunks of ice bobble in a pool of reddish-purple alcohol. I sniff the drink suspiciously. To my relief, this time all I smell is a sharp, clean scent of gin with an undercurrent of fermented fruit. Relax, it's just the local specialty, plum gin. Although if you're feeling more adventurous, I shake my head. Leander wraps his knuckles against the bar until the group falls silent. All right, everyone, let's toast. May Rayla's day in Iridia be full of bright adventures and discoveries. Cheers. Leander, Ice, and Veer raise their glass in unison. Min only crosses their arms, and Curious watches with polite indifference. I tip back my drink. The plum gin is eye-wateringly strong. Despite a sharp medicinal edge, it goes down smooth. One sip softens the edge of my vision. The next fades the din of the crowded bar into a low, persistent murmur. I find myself unwinding for what feels like the first time in years. Aren't you the popular one, Rayla? I'm guessing you met Curious first. It would be more accurate to say that I found her. He saved my life. I merely performed my duty as a doctor, although I must admit that I was confused when I woke up missing all my clothes. Leander makes a choked noise. Somewhere behind him, Min sighs. It's not what you think. Rayla was in grave condition. I could hardly treat such injuries through tattered clothes. The silence that follows stretches uncomfortably long. I look away, unable to face Curious' disappointment, and catch Veer snickering behind his hand. Curious isn't the only one who saved me today. Don't you listen? I didn't save you. You were simply there. That's Min for you. Leander reaches for Min, but they duck under his arm with practiced ease without so much as looking his way. As reliable as they are moody. You're the one to talk, considering you neglected to warn her to stay off the streets at night. I might have gotten a little distracted. Yeah, he was blushing all over the place, you know? At any rate, I never got a chance to thank you, Min. Don't. The less soulless alive, the better. For a heartbeat, Min's eyes flicker towards Eyes, and their lips twist. Oh shit, leave him alone. He's a nice boy, maybe, probably not. I've had enough of this hellhole. Let's go. Very well, but there's something that I must discuss with Leander, if you'll excuse me, Rayla. And just like that, the three of them depart, leaving me alone to savor my gin in silence. Or so I think, until I hear a voice so soft and low it's practically a purr. Lost your tour guide? I turn to find crimson and pink eyes trained on me. It's not lost on me that they chose the instance the others left to strike, just my luck. I had to be abandoned with the two most irritating people I've met all day. Monster or not, there's no telling what they'll do if either of them pushed me again. Don't tell me Leander already snuck off to get his knob slobbered out back. Oh my god. He's got business with Curious and Min. 2-on-1 business? Isn't he lucky? I can't tell if this the champagne or the company, but Veer has grown noticeably more relaxed. He sits with his chin propped on the back of his hand. His ear twitches whenever Hiccup shakes his shoulders. Why are you so far away? Come, join us. He passes the empty bar stool beside Ice, but I hesitate. The smile Veer wears is sweet and distinctly sly, and with the drinks in the mix, I dread how he and Ice will mess with me next. We don't bite. I'm not sure about that. Just hours ago, he tried to rob me and he threatened me. Me? Still, surely you must be mistaken. You sure it was me? Yes, it was you. And then you had the gall to kick me out just so you could go drinking? He gives another one of his shrugs. I was lonely. Veer suddenly slumps forward, gossamer sleeves pulling where he rests his elbows on his knees. Ice sets his hands on Veer's waist, narrowly preventing him from tipping off the counter. How about we start fresh, Begin with proper introductions, get off on the right foot and whatnot. I'll start. The name's Veer, hunter extraordinaire. Veer's right hand flutters to his chest, and he bows his head, flinching when hair falls into his eyes. Ice doesn't say anything, so I suppose it's my turn now. It's Rayla. Veer considers me for a long moment, his tail idly swaying behind him. Then he knocks back the rest of his champagne. It's a pleasure to formally meet you, Rayla. He says my name slowly and deliberately. Savoring each syllable, a tingle jumps down my spine. I quickly turn my gaze away. Ice smirks at my reaction over the rim of his glass. Is something funny? Nope. Open my mouth and close it just as quickly. They want me to react, goading me into another ridiculous game. A flash of white over Ice's shoulder catches my eyes. Across the bar, Curious heads for the door. I don't see Leander or Min, but it feels wrong to let them leave without saying goodbye. I'll be back. I slip through the crowd, careful not to touch anyone, but just as I'm nearing Curious, I stagger. Shoulder checked by a man with a nick thicker than both my thighs. He stares down at me, nostrils flaring. Out of my way, shit stain. My words slip out on their own. You watch it. I regret them as soon as they leave my mouth. That fucking gin. The roughneck wheels around, shoving a bloodhound out of the way so he can close in on me. What did you say? He shoves me backwards, sending me stumbling to the sticky floor. I'm fine, but my heart leaps into my throat when I see the roughneck bearing down on me. You trying to start something here? The roughneck freezes, his fists cocked back, a group of bloodhounds called by the commotion circling him, sizing him up. For what feels like an agonizingly long minute, the roughneck looks from me to the bloodhounds. Finally, he sniffs and spits on the floor next to me, the lob narrowly missing my cheek. Screw it, too many freaks in the circus tonight. Damn. He turns his back on me and comes face to face with eyes. Oh, is he going to defend my honor? Oh my god. A dangerous smile spreads across his face. You'll do. What happens next is the blur. Oh shit, dude. Ice fist crashes into the roughneck's jaw, causing an eruption of gas, shouts, and even cheers around us. I scramble to my feet right as the frantic crowd swarms around me, cutting off my sight of everything and everyone. Through the ruckus, I hear Leander shouting, Hey, Eyes, take it outside. Ignore them, everyone. Look, drinks are on me. With that, those 4 words erupt with hoots and hollers. The ring around me disperses as bloodhounds and onlookers rush towards the bar. Through the thinning crowd, I catch glimpses of familiar faces. Eyes vanishes out the back, dragging the roughneck behind him. Curious lingers near the door, searching, I suspect, for any wounded before he departs. Men draws their hood up tight as they slip out the side door, while Veer leans over the counter to swipe a glass of wine from behind the bar. And Leander, seated at the opposite end of the bar, gestures dramatically and apologetically at the bartender. In the space of a heartbeat, I realize that there's no telling when or if I'll see any of them ever again. Whoever I pursue may be the last person I get to speak to tonight. I follow. Oh, fuck! Ooh, I really want to know what Ice is up to. But Leander's also my boy. Ooh, the decisions. You know, I'm gonna do them all eventually. But, I feel like I gotta follow my heart and go with Lee. No, I want to know what Ice is doing. We're gonna come back for Leander. We'll come back for him. No, we'll go with Leander. Okay, this was hard. This was really hard, guys. For the second time today, I find myself squeezing through a crowd to reach Leander. As soon as he sees me, his easy smile fades. Are you alright, Rayla? I'm not used to someone looking at me with such earnest concern. I've been through worse today. From the sounds of it, you've had quite the day. How are you holding up? Not bad, considering I've been threatened, robbed, and came close to dying too many times to count. I should have known not to let you out of my sight. How about the next time you want to see the city, I come along? I can be your personal guide. You've already helped me more than enough. Leander signals for the bartender. I'm parched. Do you want anything? Something strong and simple. Adventurous, aren't you? I'm gonna have to keep an eye on you. Of course, you'll also need to keep an eye on me. I've lost count how many I've had. Deal. Once he's ordered, Leander turns back to me. Did you at least get to try any good food? I had these fried dough sticks from the vendor near here. As soon as I begin describing my meal, his eyes brighten with recognition. The long lads from Wayne's stall. You've got to try them with porridge. I'll show you sometime, if you've decided to stick around Lovetown, that is. The area Leander describes is far different from the one I've experienced, but if you live anywhere long enough, I suppose it becomes home. It seems like I'll be here for a while. Maybe I'll take you up on that. The bartender returns with a pair of glasses and pushes them our way. Cheers. Leander clicks his glass against mine. I take a deep sip of the malty dark ale, savoring its flavor. It was surprising finding out that you all know each other. I didn't think your video would be so small. Do you know how many times I've tried getting them all in one place? It's impossible, like trying to herd a bunch of soulless. I take it you know them well? Depends. Was there anyone you're curious about in particular? My boy Ice. So you're friends with Ice? Have been for a while, but he's rarely in town. Where'd you run into him? The Sea Spring. Leander chokes on his drink. He coughs violently into the fist before giving me a surprised look. You went all the way out there? How'd he treat you? He was upfront. He was honest. He told me about how the Sea Spring's powers came with a heavy price. Losing your mind, becoming one of his funny, brainless pets. He sighs, pausing before he speaks again. Does that sound worth it to you, Rayla? The only pets he has are soulless. Yeah, no, I didn't mean it like that. Ice has my respect and takes care of his own. All those red-eyed minions creep me out. Can we talk about something else? Leander pushes me away from the bar, beckoning me to follow him. He leads me to a small booth hidden in the nook of the bar. A pair of bloodhounds notice him and immediately leap to their feet, offering their seats to us. As I slide into the booth, a web of graffiti scratched into the booth tabletop catches my eyes. What is all this? It's a tradition. Whenever someone joins the Bloodhounds, they have a drink with us and then they carve in their initials. The barkeeper must love that. After the first year, she finally stopped charging me for extra damages. 2 years and countless drinks later, she added her own name. You're not planning on recruiting me, are you? He quickly shakes his head. Not yet. You need time to think about your own path. Do you know what you're going to try next? The question gives me pause. I take my hands out from under my cloak and rest them on the table. Do you think you can help me? Of course, we can find answers together. Leander starts to reach for me as though meaning to take my hands before stopping himself. His eyes flicker to mine. I won't fail you, Rayla. And if you ever need a taste of normalcy, I'll always be here for you. Oh, he's so sweet. My chest tightens at the memory of touching him. Even now? Leander swallows. The table groans under his elbows as he leans forward. The booth is so narrow that he completely blocks my view of the counter bar. It's almost as though Leander and I are completely alone. Look, he's blushing again. I love him. If that's what you want, how did it make you feel? It was warm, exciting. I don't know how to describe it. Leander rests his right hand on the table. He looks at me, smiling when I place my hand in his. Slowly, he begins unwinding the bandages, stopping every so often to glance at me. As my skin becomes visible, I cast a nervous glance around the bar, but as far as I can see, no one is paying any attention to us. No one will notice. He pulls back, raising his hand to his mouth so he can tug his glove off with his teeth. Our eyes meet, and Leander offers his hand again. There you go. Hand holding on demand. A lump forms in my throat. I'm certain Leander sees it in my face, the flicker of desperation. His voice lowers to a whisper. Anything you want, Rayla. I'm going to touch his face. I blurt out the first request that comes to mind. Can I touch your face? Oh, sure. I lean over the table hesitantly before I reach for his face. When my fingers graze his jaw, Leander laughs softly. That tickles. It's fine. You can just... He takes my wrist, angling my hand so he can press his cheeks into my palm. Warmth spreads under my fingertips. A surprised breath escapes me. Gently, I run my thumb down the ridge of the scar on his cheek, and he shudders, his earring jingling against my knuckles. You're getting awfully bold. I've never touched someone like this before. And even though it makes my head spin, it's already not enough. I want to be even closer. My heart hammers, filling my ears with a pulse that grows unbearably loud until I pull my hand back. Are you alright? I can barely hear his words over my pounding heart, but I manage to nod. Yeah, I'm fine. Sorry, I think I'm just getting a little dizzy. He gives me a gentle smile, eyes crinkling at the edges. You've had a long day. You deserve some rest. Luckily, your room is just upstairs. Want me to walk you back? I shake my head and begin wrapping my hand back up. With each deep breath, my head feels more clear. I'm fine, but thanks for, well, everything. Remember what I told you. If you ever need a break from the chaos of the city, I'll be here for you. When I rise, Leander gives me one last smile. Good night, Rayla. Night. I trudge up the stairs, but even as I leave Leander behind, the warmth of his skin still lingers on mine, burning through the bandages. That was it. I loved it. Leander's so cute, and I can't wait to play more. They're doing like a little Kickstarter, so if you like the game, you should check them out, maybe support them. It's not going to come out for a while, but even the demo was so fun, and I love the characters. Yeah, I don't know. Bye.